In a news update for March the 28th, 2018, Wednesday. It's hump day, everyone. Middle of the week. Get your mind out of the gutter, because that's not where my mind is. All right, some of today's top stories for Love FM and for YouTube listeners and viewers of our channel. Hey, we want to say hi to you and congratulate you for listening to us. We've been online since 2010. Giving you top stories of the nation and of the day. Well, the saga continues with Donald Trump's mystery affair with this porn star icon that happened allegedly. I'm going to say allegedly because we don't know if it's true. I think it's a smear tactic, really. That happened back in 2006. Matter of fact, Stormy Daniels, I don't know who comes up with these names of attorneys. It sounds like a DJ or something. And he sounded like, hey, it's Stormy Daniels in the house. I'm a Stormy Daniels attorney. You know, it sounds like a DJ like. And but that's his name, Stormy Daniels. I can't make this up. And Michael Owen is Trump's personal attorney. Says that money was given to this porn star icon, supposedly. Now, allegedly. We don't know if it's true or not. And they're trying to get Trump to go before a trial, to have a trial with this possibly in the next 120 days or less, to talk about this publicly. We don't know if this money, this is the question, did Mike Cohen give this money to this girl with this agreement where she's not supposed to speak or be hushed or quiet? You know, allegedly. We don't know. Well, there's a lot of things. Did Trump really have this affair? We don't really know, and I really think it's between them two people or whatever happened there. People are human. But even if he did, I don't know if he did, it shouldn't cost him his presidency. But some people are speculating it could, which I don't know how it would. Now, if they try to say supposedly he had this affair, which I highly doubt it, but let's say if he did have this affair. I don't know if he did because I don't know enough of the information to tell you one way or another. But let's just say attorneys could play with it and say, well, he was paying this lady to be quiet, hush money, so that, this is kind of what they implied, so that Trump could be elected. And maybe it was used to help bolster or help push his election, which is so evil and so wrong and such a lie, if I have ever heard of one. But just like all the other things, it's no different, people. It's the same tactic. They're trying to find a way to smear this man. Trump has been through a lot of hell, and they're just trying to get him any way he can. And, of course, you know, icon people from Good Morning America News has contacted the White House regarding this gossipy news, if Trump really has done this, but the White House has not commented back on these assertions as of yet. More news on the tree that fell on a little boy in Chesterfield in his bunk bed who died from the winds of Raleigh, the fury of Raleigh, I'll say. Charges are being filed with that park, or with the trailer park's owner out in Chesterfield because of improper maintenance, it looks like. They can get them for not keeping the property up. That's what a lawyer says from legal aid. And, of course, they can't do anything about, that's the only thing. They can get them for that because it does state in their rules, that it does state in the law there in Chesterfield that all properties must be kept up in a tidy or clean manner. And, of course, that tree could have been prevented, is what the parents and other associates or former residents that have taken occupancy there or that are living there currently still are arguing or testing today from the trailer park where this tree has killed this boy when the winds of fury of Raleigh have come through there. Also, they are trying to make, in other news, they're trying to make sentient beings. The goal is, they haven't made them yet, but they hope to make simian beings. Now, some of the stuff that you saw that I released on social media, I'll just say, last night, is saying they're already doing this stuff. That's conspiracy. I will say that myself, because they have not been able to make a facsimile of a human clone yet. They have done things, and clones do not live as long as they've done it with animals. And they do not live as long as regular animals. The animals that were cloned don't even live as long, and they age faster, and they have other problems. when they try to clone. So if they do this with people, I'm sure the same thing would happen. Now, of course, Hitler had doubles, that's true, but it wasn't because they were cloning people, like this crazy man says in there on that anonymous report. They haven't done it yet, but that's their goal. Their end goal is that. They're working towards that. But they do have there are other people that are twins, and it's not because they're clones. It's because they are just other people in the world that look similar to you. Everybody has a twin out here. You may have more than one. It's just like my uncle says, there's a lot of people that look like him. And there are a lot of people that look like you. They look like a lot of people. And it's not a clone. It's just people do look similar. Some people can look similar, but it's not no clone going on or no government fake people replacement like crazy stuff you hear out here. No, but that's their goal. They're working towards that to make these beings. Now, I know they can make robots that look very human-like. They can do that with plastic and type of fibers. They experimented and they made a robot-looking woman, and she looks like a real woman, and she talks sort of like a human too, but it's a robot. It's a whole body that walks around and everything. And they had that at the electronics show about a year or two, last year or the year before, 2016, at the electronic show they have in Las Vegas every year, where they have the latest technology, and that was out about a year or two ago. And the Japanese maker's the one that made this robot, this human-like sentient being. But they're trying to do this with real organics. That's what they call it in the industry. I kid you not. That's their goal, is to make real atomic eyes, real clone-like humans. That will be their goal. That's what they want to do, the elites do. Now, there's always been theories going around that there have been where they have picked people, certain people to live on, and those people who they chose, they're going to keep continuing to live them on. So, and the elites are already pre-selecting certain candidates, and more on genetics and dealing around those lines. There was a major catastrophic failure at a Ohio hospital where over 900 embryos have been stored. So there's people that are suing the hospitals because their freezer malfunction and notification system was offline or either it stopped working. And they say there's been 2 other places where this has happened in the country, too, before this point. Same thing, where a lot of embryos were lost. Well, maybe what you ought to do is just have sex the normal way instead of using embryos to try to make or engineer a human. Why don't you just take the odds and just do it the normal way, like the way God intended it, between a man and a woman. You don't need an embryo to fertilize your egg. You can just do it the normal way. Get a man in there and do it the right way. You don't need to do it by natural selection, like the way God intended it. This embryo stuff is what God we believe is what destroyed the world with the flood. And we believe that's what's going to destroy the world here, because God does not want men playing like God. And that's what we see more and more of. So maybe the reason why those eggs were destroyed may not be a defective unit or refrigeration system, but it may be because maybe God had something to do with it, because He don't want men playing like their God. And that just goes to show you in their face that they can't do things right, because technology doesn't always work and it breaks down, because God does not want that stuff to be happening anyway. And that just goes to show you, and the bold face of man, that's just my theory on it, why these things are happening, just to show how frail and how imperfect and how things don't work. Because God did not intend for men to engineer babies in the way that they're trying to do in the future and what they're trying to do now. And that's not our embryos, to make a superhuman or to make a human any way you want. A matter of fact, they're trying, more on that video from Anonymous, they want to make transgender, sexless, or neutral beings. They don't want humans having babies. So the future is they want to make a baby by removing their sex organs. I wanted to say that in the first story. In the second story, it had more to it, because this is what it talked about, which is really disturbing. And they want to make this mutual sex being, or transgender kind of sex being, where it could look like a woman or a man, but it has no sex organs down below. Instead, it just pees out an opening, but it's just a neutered kind of person. But it's a real person. That's what they want to do in the future. And they say they're at the point to where they can possibly even do that right now with babies, by simply going in and removing their sex organs and changing some stuff in their DNA to make them a sex-neutral being. Now, why would you want a sex-neutered being? I don't know why. But that's what scientists want to do. And they don't want people to procreate sexually anymore. They want them to go to a hospital and do it that way. That's the future of babies and how people give birth, is where they grow them in a test tube and grow them in a special incubator unit rather than in a person's belly. That way they can closely monitor and everything. And I don't think that's what God wants. So there'll probably be more catastrophic failures happening, and other things will be happening as a result, because God doesn't want men playing like they're God. Only God can be God, and He's the one that's in charge of who's born. And that's their goal. I want to say more on that, because that's an important point. I should have added with that story earlier. Anyway, as far as things are going around here, everything's quiet on the front so far. There has been noises over there across the hall, arguments and people yelling out in the hallway, and saying they're not saying anything even though they are, and talking about things even though they say they're not, and they're trying to pin it on me because I said something in a video or something. But you got to realize the video was like a year old. That doesn't mean I'm saying it all the time, even though this person keeps saying I'm saying stuff all the time because I lie. Now, I might have mentioned it one time in a video, but it does not mean that I'm saying it all the time. But every time, if I do something once or do anything, it's always happening all the time. Just like when they said I harass her all the time, that's a lie, because I don't harass her at all. But they say that because I walk by them. I have interrupted their space like a little child, even though I have just as much right to be in that space just like they do. And I wasn't really caring about their adolescent behavior, or probably sub-adolescent behavior. I was just walking by because I have sciatic and my leg was hurting, and I wanted to get over there to the officer because that was the quickest point. Not because I wanted to offend them, because I walked by them. Oh my gosh, I have violated their rights. And my rights don't matter, but their rights do, right? This is basically what happened on the 19th. And that's what I've been going with all the time, because that truly does happen to me, that kind of harassment and badgering. It's like, if you're outside, you're already at fault and wrong because you're in their space. It's a liberal tart kind of thing, It's kind of like, ooh, he's racist. Ooh, he's harassing me. Even if you don't say anything to him and you're outside, you're harassing them, right? Because you walk by. It's kind of how they act around here a lot. These cats that are involved. She's outside in the hallway right now listening, by the way. I just want to let people know out here on YouTube that every time she's outside, we'll let you know she just opened her door to go inside just right now. But like I said, she's got to get the latest gossip and put her spin on it as usual. And we'll keep letting you know what's going on here with the Barbara Poe and Patricia Tyler net, because there's a lot going on. And, like I heard the arguments over there. It doesn't look good for her, because all the stuff she does, she just hangs herself. And it's like more and more of the same kind of remedy, arguing, and it's just, just trying to lie. And, because I say something about something because it's been going on so much, that's why I say something. It's not because I keep talking about stuff, because I don't. But she's going around telling people that I do, because she's lying on herself, because she's the one that's doing all the talking about everything. That's why the landlord's in on it, and that's why we're going to court, because he's trying to bring all that out, because she's the one that went to the landlord with Patricia and talked to him. That's why that's like that. So, that's pretty much what's going on. But anyway, because she couldn't get no money to go to court herself, so she used the landlord to use their money here at Harbor Square to finance that, because she don't have no money to do it herself. So they came up with this harassing charge, and that's really what it is. And that's what I see on the whole thing. But anyway, because the truth be known, this is my diary, this is my blog, and I do tell the story, and as the story changes, so will the things we talk about, as always. And we don't slander anybody, even though the truth is slanderous. I looked up the law, but when it's proven in court, then it's not slanderous, as the law does say. But as you know, that's really what's going on here, folks. with that story, with what's going on with here regarding why I'm being evicted on these warrantless, groundless charges, accusations, as always, coming from those two cats mainly. And I think Miriam might be the third person who I saved her life from a killer that was coming over here, her former drug junkie of a husband, is might be actually on it too, because they've been talking to each other a lot in her apartment a lot lately and discussing, because I'd be coming over here and it smells like a bar, like somebody's been smoking. And Miriam, she smokes, but it don't smell that bad. But when there's more people in there smoking, because Barbara, she smokes too, and she's been hanging out with her a lot at night and talking to her a lot. And Miriam and Barbara, I don't know, coincidentally yesterday were gone, and they both came back around about the same time yesterday and left about the same time. So I don't know what they were doing, but they were gone for about probably 6 or 7 hours yesterday. So I don't know where they were doing. Maybe that was coincidence, I don't know. But they were gone yesterday. They both left around about the same time yesterday morning. So I don't know if they went to talk to the Shields or what they were doing. But it's speculation. It's what some people were talking about, and that's, that seems to be up their alley. Because both of them have been watching this girl in question. Even Miriam has told me she's had the daughter over there, and even Sean has brought her over there, last year and even this year. And then even, she was showing up over there because Miriam's told me that she's been coming over to her apartment a lot. And she even told me, Miriam said that she has gone over to Barbara's, and Miriam's the one that told me, because Barbara told Miriam, Barbara Poe that is, told her that she was coming over there. So, and this is really the truth that's coming out, because she has been going over here, and I don't know why she has to be over here, because if I'm such a bad person, why is she coming over here to the girl that lives underneath me, which is Miriam, and why is she going over to Barbara Poe's house? If I'm such a bad person, why would you even have her anywhere near me if I'm so bad as they claim? But anyway, I'm just, speculating here, because this is the truth, what's coming out. I'm just telling the truth about it, not speculating, but telling the truth, because that's what a lawyer would say. That's what a prosecutor would say. Why would you have anyone around someone like that? And, if I was this kind of person, I wouldn't be living here for all this time. I have a background gets checked. Like I said before, it always comes back fine, just like it would come back this year fine. Because I'm not that kind of person. I'm definitely not doing that kind of stuff. I never have done that kind of stuff. I'm always looking out and trying to protect kids from those kinds of people. But yet, it's kind of weird how I get accused of stuff like this. And why would someone keep coming over here that really, and the other kids were over here too. Her brothers were over here as well, over at Barbara's. That's what Miriam told me too, because that's what Barbara told her. So, the truth is coming out, folks. We're just going to let the truth come out, and it's coming out. So, and of course this has all been admitted, though, by the way. But like I know, it's just, and Danny's got a restraining order to stay away from those kids. So if he's so innocent, why does he have a restraining order? I don't know. Detective, when he was over here, talking to him before he left about a month later, and at the end of October is when he left of last year. That's what the detective said to him, and they said their name. And they said that they gave him a restraining order, stay away from his kids, because he kept driving by their house and talking to the children and approaching them at Walmart and things. And I guess they had to get a detective order because he kept coming around them and talking around them. And plus he was riding their daughter in his car and picking her up and stuff. So, maybe all connected with that, but I don't know. But as I say, this is what we know thus far. But other news, there is a protest going on in Sacramento due to a black man getting shot. Like I said, I'm not going to say the police are at fault, because I don't know, because I'm always for the police. I like the police. I think they do a wonderful job, and I didn't get paid to say that, by the way. I'm just telling the truth. I think they do a good job. I think they do what's right. There's a lot of good men and women that are on the forces all over America, and I think they do look out for the best for the people, for the most part. But there's always some corruption in police departments, because there are some that are doing wrong things too. just like you find in any type of profession. But in this day and age. But like I said, I don't know what happened out there in San Diego, why a black man got shot. There's a lot of people stormed a meeting last night out there, and they're upset about that. Meanwhile, there's a rally that students are doing in farmland out there in the middle of nowhere, talking about trying to get the attention of a certain legislator out there, trying to ban all semi-automatic weapons. The only thing they want is just people to have a one-shot pellet gun, pretty much. Yeah, that's what they want everybody to have, which is not going to really protect you from anything. But that's what they want to do, is try to ban all high-powered military-like style weapons. But, I don't think that should be the answer, because, if you just have a one-pellet shotgun and you get rid of all these pistols and everything, it's not going to protect yourself. And, citizens only having one shotguns at a time is not going to help you when these criminals have real high-powered military-style weapons on the street that have them illegally, and yet the people, are getting all their guns taken away that are legal, law-abiding citizens. And I don't think that's right. So, so they say, according to these people, they're trying to encourage that all, in the future, they want all kids to, in all 50 states, to form their own 50-mile marches. And that's what they're doing out there in the middle of nowhere this morning. Having their little march rally like Martin Luther King to cross the bridge, as they said. Meanwhile, there's in other news, space news, there is a Chinese satellite about the size of a tour bus that is heading towards Earth, and they're not sure exactly where it's going to land because the sensor controls on the satellite itself is malfunctioned, apparently. And this thing is just rapidly falling to Earth, and they're not sure as to where it could land. They're saying prospects it could be in Antarctica, or it could be anywhere over the U.S. So that's supposed to fall sometime here within the next week or so, and hit the Earth somewhere within this area. I mean, within this country or within some type of geographic. They don't know exactly as to where until it gets near to where it's going to land. So we have a Chinese satellite falling out of the sky. Speaking about China. Kim Jong-un. Sounds like somebody punched him in the gut every time you say his name, but really, it sounds like somebody hit him in the abdomen. Kim Jong-un. Oh, But anyway, somebody hit him. It's like when you say his name, it's like you punch. It's like somebody's punching him, and you make that noise when you say Joe. But anyway, he had a secret meeting with his ally friends in China last night, taking a secret underwater or underground train that actually went from North Korea to Beijing, China. And they had a little meeting last night, and they said that the meeting went over really well, strangely enough. And, of course, they're going to be talking with Trump the trumpet, coming up sometime here in April. And, of course, like I said, this is some of the stories hitting the news shelf today. It's Michael Sells from Love FM and also on YouTube. Take care. Have a good day. Please stay strong. I'd like to say hi to Janine Brown. Say hi to Melinda. Say hi to Linda Price. Say hi to Virginia Delicate that's watching. And say hi to Hanover Police. Love you all. Take care. Have a nice day, everyone. Happy Wednesday.